I mean really, why switch from one British male voice to another? You could just use the same one.
PlayStation, just simply a bunch of cells where we can hold vicious criminals for about 2 weeks and then let them go free and kill more people. And then where you have the defense and the offense and your referee. And then we have this place where you end up after you've been in prison. This is the cemetery. Now, for those who remember, I don't remember if I showcased this in 11 or 12, originally 12, but for a creative writing class in my senior year of high school back in 13-14, or actually just in 14, so January 14 is when I had that class, it's only second semester. Back when I had that class, we had to come up with an innovative project. Basically, like, just invent or like create a product and make a brochure advertising it, and be creative and funny with it. So we had basically created this idea for something called the self-esteem, which basically, and this was before any of us knew what a selfie stick was, but I don't even think they were invented yet. Where you'd have this little thing that would perch onto your shoulder, and it was basically a selfie stick, and you would attach your phone to the end of it, but so then it's sitting there on your shoulder, and all you do is, you know, look to your left or whatever, and your phone's aimed right at you, and when you look at it, it takes pictures of you. It's supposed to raise your self-esteem, hence self-esteem. So we needed a logo for our corporation, and thus I did this, and there was just a sign post at the bottom of this at the time, so it was just a gigantic sign for Self-Improvement Industries, or SII. Eventually, I decided, you know, ixnay with the Einsay, and I built a parking lot and I built a building behind it. This is going to be the Self-Improvement Industries corporate building, headquarters, what have you. It was going to be, until I decided to not finish it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, this is meant to be 8 floors and a roof that you were going to be able to walk out on top of. The only thing I did finish here are the bathrooms, and they're copy and pasted every floor up. Female bathroom, male bathroom. But yeah, you have your urinals here, which is actually just like a trough for some reason. Now, keep in mind, I copy and pasted this, and when you copy and paste custom blocks, they face one direction only, and in this case, it's the wrong one. I never actually noticed that until right this moment, but I'm not going to bother trying to fix it. And of course, the women's ones are all turned around. Joke's on them, I guess. It's actually funny how all the sinks are the right way, but the toilets aren't. Like, I fixed the sinks. I just didn't open the doors to fix the toilets. And not even to mention that, the doors are actually facing the right direction. Whatever. Anyway, there's going to be 2 elevators, as you can see by the corners. And I said there was 8 floors. There's actually... yeah, so all these floors. But there was actually one all the way down underneath the main floor that we walked in on. Go figure, everything has to have a fucking basement. And thus it did. And this is where you'd have, well, the restrooms there. But you had different food courts. You had, you know, 3 different little food areas where they have their food storage and their ovens and sinks, and you buy shit. And the same old story you hear me say all the time. And your food court area there. So yeah, and then we actually had elevators that were designated because it was hard to see with the same color block as all the ceilings. I don't know why I'm flying up so many floors, there's only one to walk on. But yeah, this was going to be a big giant corporate building with lots of offices and whatnot. I just never ended up finishing it because, again, I have all these big ideas and then I get to the motivation part of what's the point. No one's ever going to appreciate it. Which I'm glad didn't occur until after I built this, because this actually took some dedication, and I'm glad I went through with it. As you can tell by the yard markers, this is a football field. And not that there's really much reason to build one, but I built it with Purdue in mind. Granted, at that time, I went to Purdue. Granted, at that time, Purdue's football team sucked ass. And not really because of the players, but because we had a coach who did not know how to coach. But yeah, so this gigantic football field, of course, everything on my world is gigantic. It's way disproportionate in scale. You are basically a flea in scale to everything built here. But I did actually find a photo on Google where someone built the Purdue logo here with Legos, and I converted it to be in this game. That's one thing I'm proud of. It's one of the few things I'm proud of. If we go all the way down, though, to this end, and come on, load already, you bitch. Like I said, rendering is shit. But it had Purdue on the other side, it has Boilermakers on this side, as Ross-Ade Stadium actually has. If it would load all the way, that would be nice, then I don't have to keep showing it. Yeah, okay, cool. And then the world itself is going to lag right behind me. Thank you, faggot. And you had your field goals and the nets behind them. The only reason I didn't put any seating on either side is because we're actually at the edge of the world. You see that little red dot in the top left? I almost leaned forward to point at my screen like that would have made a difference. If you look at the little red dot in the top left corner, that's where we are. And when you get too close to the edge, it flings you back. In fact, because, you know, show everything. If I get right about here, the world starts ending, and it just launches me back in. So, I didn't build any seating because of that, basically. Now we're going to go super fast to get the fuck out of this corner of the world, because it is going to take forever to load. Like, oh my god.